Jim, but it's always great to connect with Sean Lewis, head coach of the Aztecs. They announced this brand new initiative today that we're going to get into, the Link the 619, which is really about supporting student athletes now and moving forward on the Mesa. Let's start there, Coach, and we appreciate you taking time, Sean, for us here on the home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. What does it mean to keep this core intact? We saw the messaging on social media, the Trey Whites and Tano Latulis, Dalshon Staley, Chris Johnson, one of your offensive linemen as well, Ross Ulagulu. How critical is that as you move to 2025? And as always, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, guys, appreciate the time. Critically important, right? We've talked about it a bunch ever since we showed up a year ago that, our talent acquisition process is going to start at home, and there's nothing more important than our locker room, right? And what we've built and the work that we've done, and to have the leaders in our program, to have Trey White, Chris Johnson, Tano Latuli, Big Ross, and Dalshon Staley, amongst countless others, right, that have, reaffirmed their commitment to what we're doing, the vision that we have in place, and their loyalty and their, to the soil here is everything.
And on the flip side, the players that announced that they were entering the transfer portal, it looks like you're going to be looking for a couple more wide receivers, and obviously the running back room now with Coop, not going to be there next year. King Christian into the transfer portal. Your thoughts on those players entering the transfer portal, and what do you plan on doing to replace those guys on this team?
Yeah, obviously, again, everyone has the opportunity to do what they feel is best for, themselves and for their families, and with the opportunity that is provided by the transfer portal. And again, I wish them all the best. We'll continue to have conversations with certain members, certain individuals that, have gone in, and maybe we can get them to come on back once they realize that what we have here is so special. But again, we're going to utilize all talent buckets that are out there, right? Whether it's the high school ranks, whether it's the junior college ranks, it's the transfer portal with undergraduates and grad transfers. We get the great opportunity ahead of us here, to reconstruct the roster and to go get playmakers and run stoppers and fortify our offensive line and, get all the pieces in place that we need to have the competitive depth that is necessary to compete at a championship level.
You mentioned there that, you maybe hope to bring some guys back that have entered the transfer portal already for your program. What kind of, that's a philosophy that is interesting to me, because most times when kids enter the transfer portal, the likelihood of them returning isn't very high at all. So bringing guys back, how does that process work for you? If someone in your program enters the transfer portal, it's almost like you have to re-recruit them, right?
Yeah, a little bit, right? But you have for us now, we've had a year's worth of days that we've worked together and experiences and moments that we've shared, right? And so, again, you continue the conversation, in terms of what's important to them, what it is that they're looking for, and how that's all right here, and it's happening in a spot where they have, a role that they can build upon, and they have relationships in the locker room, so they don't need to start all over again. They don't need to start all fresh, and, can create the pathways and the opportunity that they're looking for. But again, that'll be on a case-by-case basis off of everything, and we'll see where it goes.
Sean Lewis with us right now, home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Coach, as you know, there's no dull moments in what you do. Coaching changes are a part of it as well. Your defensive coordinator, Eric Schmidt, getting a great opportunity, obviously, to go to his alma mater and be the head coach at the University of North Dakota. So what does that mean as you look forward here for your next DC? What are you looking for? And obviously, it's exciting for, I'm sure, Eric Schmidt to have that opportunity.
Yeah, first off, for Eric and his family, right? He's a great professional. He did tremendous work for us on his time on the Mesa here at San Diego State, and for him to get the call to go back home and to serve that program and to lead it. I know he's going to do exceptional work, and really, really excited for him and his family. And for us, right, we're in a great position to where, again, San Diego State is known for tremendous defensive football. And obviously, we put good work into that process to continue that legacy a year ago. There's been an unlimited amount of calls that I've received. I feel like my phone is, a part of the yellow pages right now with a number of PDFs and resumes and calls that have been, extended. So, we'll vet out all the candidates. I've learned, John, enough here, in my time as a head coach where change is inevitable, and, have had some turnover on the staff before. So have a short list of candidates as well that we'll vet through, but we're going to find the right person to lead and, to play elite defense here at San Diego State.
You were hired almost a year ago to the day. I mean, it was around this time last year that you were hired, and you had hit the ground running. Like, it was, hey, Sean Lewis is our new head coach of the program. Oh, I got to go recruit. I got to go to the transfer portal. Like, it was a whirlwind for you, I'm sure. So now having a year under your belt, how much does that help you and your staff with recruiting in general, that you aren't just like, oh, I just got hired, now I got to go on a recruiting trip?
I mean, we're still running and gunning.
Yeah.
Right? There's still so much that needs to be done, and that's just the frequency and the cadence and the pace that is this industry, and it's just all these tremendous opportunities to compete. But having, had a year here, the thing that is great now is that you know who to go to get things done, right? And to be able to, all right, hey, when we have prospects coming to campus, who are the people that can find the solutions for you, and you know how to move and shake at your home, because this place is home, and you've gotten accustomed to build those relationships within the building and how to make things happen. So that just gives you obviously greater confidence to be able to move with conviction, to do the things that we need to do to build this thing up to where we expect it to be and where our fans expect it to be as well.
Sean, can you tell our listeners about this Link the 619 campaign, I guess about the overall importance of name, image, and likeness to your program? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, to keep players like Trey White and Tano and others, it takes community support. It takes campaigns like the ones that you launched today, this Link the 619. So for our listeners, what do you want them to know about ways in which they can support your program to help retain and also help add to your roster moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously the Link, the 619 campaign is our way to honor the past, to empower the present, and to unite the future going forward, of the original 619 area code and that footprint that is all near and dear to our hearts, right? And the importance that the collectives play, that NIL play, in the talent acquisition process of collegiate football right now. It's always been about the talent. It's always been about the people. And to your point, right, if you don't have a robust NIL compensation package for these guys, they're not going to do the job for free, because they have earned the right to monetize off of their name, image, and likeness. So be able to keep our hometown heroes home and to be competitive in this space, we need the community support. Our community has stepped up the way that they did, for the past year since we've been here, but to reach the height that we all want, that we all know that we are capable of, we need to do more. No different than how we ask our kids to do more in the weight room, in the classroom, in the community, right? We as a community need to do more to back these guys, to support these guys, so that we can get to the level of our peers and to compete within the white lines, right, at a championship level, because we're able to acquire the talent, right, that winning at the level we want is capable of.
AztecLink.com, by the way, for our listeners, AztecLink.com.
Sean, Rome was never built in a day. Like, it takes time for these things to be built up to where you aspire to be as a program that is competing for Mountain West Conference championships, and eventually in the future being, competing for a spot in the college football playoff. But year one, 3-9, there were times where the offense, putting up not a lot of points, and Aztec Fast is the mantra. But to the fans out there that were less than thrilled with what they saw in year one, what can you tell them to give them hope going into the future here, that this program will eventually get to that spot where you're talking to get to?
Yeah, I mean, because we're so close. I mean, when you think about, obviously, the Central Michigan game, and that being a 1-point game, the Wazoo game was a 1-possession game, the New Mexico game was a 1-possession game. We're so close to pushing through, and the only way to get to the other side is to continue to fight, to continue to claw, to continue to battle together. And we got a group of guys, again, like with the Trey Whites, with the Big Rosses, with the Chris Johnsons, with the Tano Latuis, with Delshon Staley, with Cam Davis, with Lucky Sutton, guys who have put in tremendous work while they've been waiting for their time, for them to be able to go forward to do great things. We need our community to rally around us. We need them to buy tickets, to be in Snapdragon with us, to create an unbelievable home field advantage. And that will give us all that we need to continue to do this great work collectively together, to know that we're going to get this thing to where it's capable of doing, because we've done it before. We got conviction in our plan, and we got kids that believe in it, and we're going to go to where we're capable of getting to.
Sean, do you have a feel for Danny O'Neill's timeline coming off a shoulder at the end of the year, in terms of when he'll be back available to you? Is it a spring timeline? Is it a summer or fall timeline, or is it still too early to know?
It's still early on in the process, but feel confident he'll be able to do some things with us this spring.
All right. So again, for Aztec fans, azteclink.com. You can learn more about this. Link the 619 campaign. Again, the good news coming within the last really 48 or 72 hours. Guys like Trey White, among the leaders in the nation, and TFLs and sacks, and Chris Johnson and Tano Latuli, Dale-Sean Staley. I mean, Ross on the offensive line. Guys that have really good years. We'll be back on the Mesa. And again, to support these student athletes and more moving forward, go to azteclink.com. Sean, we always appreciate it. We know it's busy. We know it's the holidays, and we'll catch up with you again later in the year, early 2025. And thanks for hopping on.
Thanks, Sean.
Guys, appreciate it. Go Aztecs.
All right. That is Sean Lewis, head coach at San Diego State, entering year 2 in 2025.